There's nothing I love more than getting off of work and coming home to my best friend waiting with a smile on her face. The feeling of love and companionship is so warm and welcoming. By the way, did I mention that my best friend is my dog? After all, dogs are a man's best friend. Sprocket is a purebred pit bull. Pit bulls are often thought of as violent, aggressive, and dangerous. Although pit bulls are thought of this because of their historical background and social stigma, they are actually very loving and loyal, and today I'm going to inform you on why pit bulls are such a misunderstood breed. So what exactly is it about their historical background that gives us this negative perception of pit bulls? As told by Scott Giacobbe of the Washington Humane Society, pit bulls were indeed bred in the 1800s and raised as fighting dogs. They were supposed to fight each other. But actually, their aggression towards humans was bred out of these dogs. When humans would get in between the dogs to break up the fights, if they showed any aggressions towards the humans, the dogs were put down. Even before this, in the 12th century, these dogs were raised as an offbreed of the bulldogs as a form of bull baiting dogs. This sport was actually banned, though, in 1835, when there was a public outcry by the people because of the violence towards the bulls and the dogs. Today in Great Britain and most European countries, pit bulls are a banned dog breed because of their history of violence. As we all know, though, it's not just history that gives us such a perception of these dogs. Also, the way the media shines their light on these dogs has given us such a misunderstood outlook. Scott Giacobbe then tells us that in the 1980s, pit bulls were used in the subculture gang and drug worlds as an intimidation factor dog. They appealed highly to criminals because of their loyalty and their fighting abilities, which give these dogs a very scary demeanor and look. Media also has given us a negative perception of the dogs because of how they've had news shined upon them. Often you'll hear of a dog attack in a park, and pit bull will be the first breed that is mentioned, even though the dog may not have been a pit bull at all. Also, tons of myths have caused pit bulls to have a very negative outlook. Rumors about excessive jaw strength, excessive strength and speed have caused pit bulls to look like a more dangerous breed than they truly are. Pit bulls, however, are a very loving and loyal breed and are actually considered one of the highest compatibility dogs that there are. Let me tell you why they have been noted as a loving and loyal breed, and some examples. Sergeant Stubby, to this day, is noted as the most war-decorated dog there's been since World War I, and he was a pit bull. Also, as Jacqueline O'Neill tells us, the story of Weeza, a pit bull who had actually saved the lives of 30 humans and 19 other dogs during a storm. It had been flooding, and Weela's natural ability and instinct led the humans through shallow water so they could be rescued. Also, she had somehow formed a raft and was able to help a whole bunch of dogs across this river in areas where they could not touch. She was labeled Hero of the Year in 1993. Pit bulls are also considered by the American Temperament Testing Association to have one of the higher standards of compatibility and loyalty, with an 85.3 passing rate over the 81.9 average of all other breeds. Now that we know some of the facts about the misunderstanding of pit bulls, let's recap on what we've gone over. Historical background of pit bulls have not served strong for why they are so misunderstood, as well as the social stigma that has laid upon them. We now know, however, that pit bulls are a very loyal and loving dog. I know that Sprocket is my best friend, and I think all dogs should be judged on their personality and who they are, and not just their historical background or how the media has received light upon them. Love your dog, no matter who they are.